Hi everyone. Today we are going to discuss about USB-C dongles, specifically USB-C to 3.5mm dongles. As we can see, most of the new smartphones, especially the flagship smartphones, does not come with a USB-C port. So the only option to use wired earphones is by using a dongle. I'll give credits to Apple, the most courageous company in the world, for making this grab move. So let's start about the differences between two types of USB-C to 3.5mm cables. They are active cables and passive cables. There are two types of dongles, active dongle and passive dongle. Both are essentially USB-C to 3.5mm dongles, but there is a difference that you should know before buying a dongle, otherwise your smartphone does not support the dongle. The first difference is active dongles has a DAC inside them and the passive dongles does not have a DAC inside them. So it essentially means when you are using an active dongle, the audio processing is done inside the dongle, and when you are using a passive dongle, the audio processing is done inside the smartphone. The next will be the power usage. Active dongles consume power. They will sip the power from the USB-C port of your smartphone from the battery, while passive dongles does not consume any power from the smartphone's battery. And next we will talk about the compatibility. Active dongles is compatible with any device. If the smartphone or the computer has a USB-C output, then it is pretty sure that active dongles will support with that device. But whereas passive dongles compatible only with smartphone with USB-C audio that is routed from the smartphone's internal DAC. There's a mistake, I just interchanged both. Active dongles include the dongle that comes with Google phones, Apple iPhones, Samsung Galaxy devices, Xiaomi devices, etc. These are also manufactured by some third-party manufacturers like KingSound and eSports, Razer, Creative. Passive dongles are the dongles that come with smartphones like OnePlus, Sony, Huawei, Moto Z series to be specific, etc. Some third-party manufacturers of passive cables are Periscos, KS Plus, there's also HTC. Now we will talk about the sound quality. In an active dongle, sound quality is determined by the DAC chip inside the dongle. In a passive dongle, the sound quality is determined by the DAC chip inside the smartphone. So, if your smartphone has a poor audio output, you should always buy an expensive active dongle because only they have a DAC chip inside them. The sound quality from any passive dongle sounds exactly the same because it is using the DAC inside the smartphone. Next, we will list the advantages and disadvantages of both active dongle and passive dongle. First advantage of active dongle is compatibility with any device. And next advantage is better means higher quality audio. The third one is it can be used with computers. Now, when it comes to passive dongles, the advantages are they are usually cheaper. The DAC of the smartphone is used. This is specific because almost all active dongles below some certain price point like $10 or ₹750 does not come with a good DAC. So you will get a worse experience by using a dongle with smartphones that have better DACs inside them. So if your smartphone fall into this category, then I will advise to use only a passive dongles. Otherwise, buy an expensive active dongles if you can. The passive dongle is good enough for most smartphones that has a built-in DAC that routes the audio via USB-C. The next advantage is does not consume power and does not heat up. Now we will list the disadvantages of dongles. First of all, cheaper ones does not properly work with smartphones. I mean, it could work, but sometimes the audio channels may be reversed, maybe they are mixed up, sometimes the mic won't work, etc. The second one is consume power and sometimes heat up. The third disadvantage is expensive. Sure, you can get a active dongle for 90 rupees or $1.5, but they will be using very poor quality DACs, and I will not advise to get one of them. The disadvantage of passive dongles are they will only compatible with some devices. I will list some examples. OnePlus, Sony Xperia, Moto Z series, Huawei, HTC. If this smartphone does not come with a headphone jack, then passive dongles are compatible with these smartphones. Examples include OnePlus 7, OnePlus Nord, OnePlus Nord 2, Sony Xperia XZ2, XZ3, 1, 5, Moto Z2, Huawei P30 Pro, HTC V12, etc. So, you first need to make sure that your smartphone has an internal dock. You can search in the forums like GSM Arena or something. Then only you should buy a passive dongles, otherwise your smartphone does not work. Examples of smartphones that does not work with passive dongles are Apple iPhones, smartphones from these companies which does have a headphone jack. For example, OnePlus 6, Sony Xperia 1 Mark III and Huawei Honor 10, etc. does come with a headphone jack, so passive dongles will not work. Also doesn't work with most computers. Some Android based notebook PCs may be compatible with passive dongles, but I'm not 100% sure. You should check the forums or the specifications page. So finally sum up, if your smartphone include the list that support a passive dongles, you should buy a cheap passive dongles. The cheap ones are OnePlus dongles. OnePlus dongle costs around 400 rupees, and the cheap OnePlus knockoffs cost 100, sometimes even up to 40 rupees. There's no difference in sound quality or any other functions between this 40 rupees passive dongle and the 400 rupees passive dongles that come with the OnePlus smartphone. Moto also makes a passive dongle that costs around 700 rupees. You shouldn't go for Moto or some other expensive passive dongles as there are no electronics inside them, so sound quality will not be affected. There should be some capacitors or resistors, but that doesn't make it any better. So you should buy some cheap dongles that is compatible with. If you search on Amazon, you can specifically see the title compatible only with OnePlus 7 series, Note, etc. So if the title of the dongle says compatible only with OnePlus devices, then that is a passive dongle and will work with these all smartphones. Active examples include Samsung dongle. That is my explanation about two types of USB-C to 3.5mm dongle. Hope you liked it. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more.